next guest grew up the oldest of three brothers who all have different degrees of autism. Allie comes to us via Skype from her home in New York with a question about one of them.
Yeah, Michael is 24 years old. He's probably the lowest end of the spectrum out of all three. He's completely nonverbal, blind, and epileptic. Anthony is 18. He is the most social and the most verbal, but is severely OCD. And then Luke is 16. He's kind of in the middle of Anthony and Michael. He's not as verbal, and he's also hyperactive. So Michael, the oldest, when in 2008 he was 13 years old, all of a sudden we just kind of noticed he was reaching for things and was putting his hands out when he would walk around the house. And you know, since he was nonverbal, he couldn't say, "Hey guys, I can't see, I'm getting tunnel vision." We took him to a neurologist, and it turned out that he had optic nerve atrophy. No one could tell us why or how. So I guess my question for you guys is, do you see any, with technology, is there any opportunity for treatments or, I don't know if there's a cure, but anything that could help him? Michael's world is already so small, being the lowest functioning, all he really loves to do is watch his Disney movies and Sesame Street on his little JVC VCR TV. And, once he lost his sight, his small world got even smaller. And, now he still listens to those tapes. We're always on the lookout for JVC VCR TVs. If any of you out there have one, let me know. Because those are only the buttons he remembers how to use. But, his quality of life was already so low, and now it's even worse. And I guess we're just hopeful that there can be some kind of change and, to make his life better.
Well, a real interesting question, and to help answer that question, we went to the source. We brought in our colleague and friend, eye surgeon, Dr. Brian Boxer Wachler. He's joining us today in the audience. So, what do you think of Allie's brother's case?
Optic atrophy can be caused by a number of things, such as multiple sclerosis, inflammation, such as temporal arteritis, tumors, and strokes. And in Allie's case, her brother has a lot of hope because there is a promising treatment that's out there now, and I'll explain. So stem cell therapy is holding great promise to help people regain vision who have lost it, who have optic nerve atrophy. And there have been patients in an experimental setting that have undergone this treatment who've regained a portion of their vision. And the way it works is the doctor takes some stem cells derived from bone marrow and injects it into the tissue. And there is great promise for this treatment that is now being done on an experimental basis.
Is this being injected into the bloodstream or actually into the area where they're trying to promote growth?
They're putting it around the area, in this case the optic nerve, or around the eye, that is supposed to help regenerate some of those tissues that have been, in this case, atrophied in the optic nerve.
Who is a great candidate for this?
It's still pretty early, but people who have optic nerve atrophy have been responding. So as long as I believe that there's no active inflammation at the time, that's one of the criteria. But as I said, it's still experimental. They're still working it out in terms of the exact criteria. We're early in this, but it's holding really great promise.
So how does that sound, Allie?
It sounds incredible, definitely. It would change his life. It would change my family's life. I think it would make everyone around this house a lot happier.
You are fantastic.
You really are.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Allie, we have resources all over the country, and we're able to track down a clinical study that performs the therapy that Dr. Brian just alluded to. And they, in fact, have agreed to look at your brother's case and determine if he would be an eligible candidate for this type of stem cell injection treatment. Wow.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
And Allie, one more thing. The show's gonna find you a JVC VCR TV. I don't care what we have to do. We're sending it to you, okay?
Thank you guys so much.
Best of luck to you, Allie. Dr. Brian, as always, thank you for coming.